Bro, does that mean like as a six-dimensional being, you could like peek your head in, say something, whisper in somebody's ear, and just pop back? I mean,
Maybe.
or is that what we're referring to as spirits?
Still extends to the portal conversation. To go from place to place, it would seem as though you're going through a portal, slip through something. Maybe that's just our minds perceive a notion that we don't know.
There's a big correlation between Bigfoot and a lot of the UFO abductions. People will claim that they've seen Bigfoot type creatures on the craft that they were abducted by. Only thing I could think of first was Chewbacca.
But you go back to what we were talking about with Dolores Cannon, where she's saying when you dream, you go elsewhere. With George Lucas, like, where was he when he was dreaming this and came back with the story?
So that possibly he was visiting other alien locales, you know, going on spaceships, and maybe he was actually doing all those things.
Yeah. And it was a true story that he partook in.
I'm telling you, man.
Last conversation, we said we were going to touch on, you had brought up Bigfoot and portals and such. And I extended it to cryptids and
Well, now
what's
you're
going on
Dolores Cannon, so I can't get that out of my head. So,
well, yeah, but I had brought up Skinwalker Ranch, all that kind of stuff, and what they're finding out there. And because, you know, we had been talking about how DMT was either an allowance to of some sort, not necessarily a hallucinogen per se, but bridges the gap. We were debating that and what that actually was.
removes all layers of filter,
Possibly.
possibly. What are we seeing in that state, in that realm?
Well, but that goes back to what we were saying is if our bodies are, whether sensory wise or brain filter wise, is only letting us see so much of the actual picture, then what aren't we seeing? Is that realm DMT wise? Is that just something that already does exist here? It's just now you can perceive it.
You mean when you're on DM? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's a hallucination. I don't think it's a hallucination at all. And why would it be so similar when people try to describe it?
As far as what the characters look like, the individuals they interact with.
I mean, Terrence McKenna back, was it 70s, was talking about that? The little creatures that you meet on the DMT trip, like ecstatic self-bouncing basketballs of many colors.
Yeah. There's also what the mechanical elves.
The machine elves.
Yeah, machine elves. There you go.
But you're talking tiny, like just millions upon millions of tiny, tiny little things. That's what it sounds like.
I don't know. Never done it.
No. Fascinating description, so. And the landscape. It's not just the machine elves, but the landscape itself is indescribable.
It's ineffable.
That was what I said last time, yeah. Super dimensional.
Super educated. Smarter than Spock.
Spock, yeah. With the echo,
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
Well, did you want to get into the cryptids and the portals, or do you still want to talk more?
I mean, we could find a way to swing both of them if you want, but
That's not what I asked you.
specifically, I think what I said was Bigfoot coming through portals, holding orbs.
I don't remember the orbs part, but sure.
Okay, well, that was
Just adds to the imagery.
yeah. It's needs to be a T-shirt like yesterday.
Little extra pageantry on it.
Yeah,
T-shirt. Well, you know.
riding a unicorn. I don't know. I mean, make it extra fun.
Well, yeah. The whole portal thing is to signify it as a portal presents a certain image, right? You get a vision of spatially what a portal is and can do. You can put physical dimension to it in a sense. You can define it. Like when you hear portal, you think relative, like Stargate 1 kind of stuff. This circle of energy that just you go through or something, right?
a circle of energy that suddenly becomes the image of another world entirely on the other side.
Yeah.
Isn't that called a wormhole?
Well, but wormhole, portal, doesn't matter how you want to call it. I mean, it's just a look into something else. That's why the idea that if on DMT it now allows you to perceive this other realm, that other realm most likely is where you're at. It's just on that spectrum frequency in that dimension, whatever the classification is of it, but you're just now in there to perceive it. So
What do you mean by
portals,
where you're physically where you're at?
well, but that's the thing. There really is no physically here. All things
Oh,
are here,
yeah.
and so
I'm
it's
like,
just
I have
you know,
nothing to compare that to.
but the easier way to say it is it's just like layers stacked on layers, almost like dimensional. So the sense is it's one earth, but there's the, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dimensions, so on. And you're just perceiving that different dimensions. You're literally just on that level,
What's the frequency?
Kenneth. But that's what I'm saying. Because whether it is a frequency or you're literally in a dimension, however it is that that world resonates or solidifies or is perceivable. Because I mean, that's really all it is if you think about it, our brain is just ingesting information and painting a picture in our mind's eye. We're not literally seeing out of our eyes. Our eyes are ingesting it as sensors. Our brain decodes it and then gives us inside our mind, this is what it looks like.
My brain just went to a totally different place right now. Sorry. If you're a being that lives in like the sixth dimension, right? Somebody in a lower dimension might not even perceive your existence
That's what I'm saying.
unless you wanted them to, because you have control of what's beneath you, but not what's above you.
Maybe. I don't know.
This is just where my mind went just now. I'm like,
I like it.
bro, does that mean like as a sixth dimensional being, you could like peek your head in, say something, whisper in somebody's ear, and just pop back? I mean,
Maybe.
or is that what we're referring to as spirits? What?
I mean, could be.
I mean, we always think of beings like aliens when we think of that with little green men or grays or
I mean, I
but
don't.
something flesh and bone.
Most of us do, yeah.
Something carbon based, but maybe it would be something entirely different. Maybe it wouldn't be solid material at all. Maybe it'd be a gaseous state that has intelligence somehow. Who knows? Like what we define as life. Well, I mean, I suppose as human beings, we define even bacteria as life when we're looking for it on other planets. But as far as intelligent life, we assume that they're always going to look like 2 legs, 2 arms, or even like if it's weirder stuff, but that it's made out of matter. Maybe there are spiritual beings that are in existence that live on the same plane that affect us, which is basically what we've been told all this time. Well, if you're spiritual in nature,
I mean, yes, I'm like
the
nodding,
spiritual
like,
battle.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Just a weird thought. Like, if you were 6th dimensional, looking down on somebody who's 4th dimensional, not looking down like, but being able to peek into their world whenever you want and create some kind of an effect in their world and just be able to pop back out again. Like almost like an ant would never know of your existence if it's walking on a sheet of paper, but if you pick it up and you look right at it, it's like suddenly you're there in their 2-dimensional world, sort of.
Okay.
It's
I
kind
get
of a
what you mean.
simplistic way to think about it, but
I mean, I
I don't know.
think that was a nice word picture.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Thoughts?
Well, I think any and all that still extends to the portal conversation because all you're doing is basically to go from place to place. It would seem as though you're going through a portal. You would slip through something. Maybe that's just our mind's ability to perceive a notion that we don't know because we don't know what a portal is. We don't know what that would mean or feel or look like. So it would give us what it thinks its representation is. But no matter what, if it's just a link or a pathway, that's a portal.
I mean, I could imagine it being possible. I've always been into science fiction, but then again, things that were science fiction when I was a kid are reality now. So,
I mean, we don't have flying cars yet, almost. So if we do have those portals, then Just as you were saying, if they're in that other dimension, they can step in while we can't per se step over like into theirs. They can step into ours. Would explain why.
Would doing something like that appear as a portal?
Well,
Or
yeah,
would you
but
just materialize?
well,
I don't know.
I mean, kind of like poltergeist, where you just go in the closet and you come out the ceiling. You're just there.
Yeah, like a
Um,
portal, like
right.
which is basically a wormhole. It's a fold in time space between 2 points. It doesn't have to make sense, but scientifically it's possible. But it would cause such a disturbance locally. So how does that work?
You don't know that.
It's magic. Why wouldn't it? I don't. Well, no, maybe because it wouldn't create an imbalance because it would be open the same in both worlds as long as. Never mind.
Either
I don't want to
way.
be a freak.
Either way,
I can't help myself.
I like the idea of cryptids with portals because to me that's what that would be is they'd be in that realm and would slip over.
Why are they slipping? It's like hunting.
For some, sure. Well, because that's the thing at Skinwalker Ranch, a lot of them are what they would call the skinwalkers. They're literally a being that can shapeshift, and they're usually menacing.
Like a Bigfoot? Are you making like a correlation there?
Well, Bigfoot is considered part of it. Also, oh man, what's the
All the different names for it in different locations.
dire wolf?
Oh, well, that was an actual thing though, wasn't it?
Correct, but they're supposedly extinct. But now all of a
They're
sudden,
breeding them again.
they're finding them supposedly.
No, but there's somebody breeding them now, I think.
That I have no clue about.
Like they created one from, they had enough DNA or something like that. Kind of weird. I think I heard that.
Anyways, the portals allowing these cryptids, as we would call them, but just alternate beings that are wolf-like, bird-like, who knows what, that we would deem extraterrestrial when they're really more interdimensional.
Okay. But why would they need, would they need a portal?
Well, it'd probably seem like a portal because, I mean, again, what is that? It's
Right.
just a path from one place to another. So if it's on the same plane, just in a different dimension, they're just crossing through to the other dimension. That would be its portal. That would be its pathway.
It's, I don't know.
I'm just saying. To me, that makes sense when you were bringing that up. That could explain why we don't find Bigfoot scat.
Oh, and how there was like a lot of weird things around that too. Like if you cross paths with one of them or you get close to them, they'll start leaving weird stuff like one footprint, not a set of footprints, but one footprint, like somewhere around your car where it's extremely visible when you go to get in. But then no other tracks, as if they just kind of blipped in, put their foot out, and like blip back out. How funny.
I mean, this sounds far-fetched and a little childish.
Yeah,
Bigfoot really that much of a joker?
I think so. Yeah.
That's kind of dick.
And then apparently
Thanks a lot, Sasquatch.
Really, there's a lot of correlation between Bigfoot, and I never heard this before, but this one guy was talking about it. There's a big correlation between Bigfoot and a lot of the UFO abductions. That people will claim that they've seen Bigfoot type creatures on the craft that they were abducted by. And I can tell you, just as a kid growing up in the late '70s, early '80s, only thing I could think of first was Chewbacca. I was like, yeah, he's got to be the mechanic or something.
I mean, that's possible.
The similarity, you know?
Well, because again, maybe Bigfoot is just a alternate being that doesn't exactly exist on this plane, but can step into this dimension. I don't know.
But when I think Bigfoot, Chewbacca's so similar. I don't know. It would just make sense. It's like he knew what was going on when he made that movie. You know what I mean?
Possibly.
That long ago, like the correlation between alien spacecraft, which,
Well, technically, George Lucas came to that conclusion of the story from a dream that he had. This was him retelling the story to the best of his ability.
was it a dream?
But if
Or
you
was it implanted in his?
But you go back to what we were talking about with Dolores Cannon, where she's saying when you dream, you go elsewhere. Your true self, your consciousness, your soul leaves your
So
body.
You found a tie-in. Look at that.
Well, no, just the simple fact of with George Lucas, like where was he when he was dreaming this and came back with the story?
I feel like we got to tell the people about Dolores though, because she was an interesting story.
Hey, Dolores.
If we're gonna bring her in, so she started this whole thing back in the '60s. She was learning how to hypnotize in order to use, I believe, regression therapy, like taking people back in time to help them like quit smoking or something simple like that. And that she accidentally went a little too far back before, just in trying to find where the problems originated, I guess is what they're doing. They're digging. And she went beyond birth and then to whatever it was before that and then the previous life. I don't know how you skip across all that so fast, but apparently accidentally the first time ended up the person just started talking about a past life, talking about things that obviously don't exist anymore and like places and times and everything lined up. And then she just started doing that. That was her thing. She'd go place to place across the United States, like I guess during the 70s, 80s, 90s. I don't think she really stopped until somewhere in the 2000s.
Oh, I don't.
And apparently passed in 2014. But fascinating lady to listen to. But anyway, what you were talking about was all the things she learned about by taking people on these past life regressions. And the things that people were telling her about the experience they were having while they were basically on the other side.
They're just tapping into. See, this is why I'm saying that time exists here. So what was, what is, what will be are all at one time, because there is no time. It's just stacked on top of each other. But then there's also dimensions within those stacks. This is why we can jump or cross over timelines, universes, dimensions. They all coexist at the same exact time.
All right. So you don't think well, I guess it really doesn't matter where these memories are coming from.
Well, but that's the thing, is it's not a memory. It's just tapping into a different dimension or timeline.
A different you.
Yeah, that's also coexisting at that same time. Because it was and it is and it will be, just as you are. We're just in 3 and 4D where we're perceiving this as depth or time. That doesn't truly exist. This is just how our construct is. This is how we perceive.
Okay. Yeah, nice. Okay. This is where I get lost in the conversation.
How? I don't understand. But that's what I'm saying, is because all those things are just means that you're just tapping into what that is. It's not a memory.
It's not a past life.
No, it's not a past life. It's not a future life. It's both. It's coexisting life. It's happening right then and there. You're just on that timeline or in that dimension.
Okay.
All of that is simultaneous. At the same time, there's a version of you and me as rocks sitting on a cliff, talking but without lips or mouths or tongues or anything to make sound.
So she was talking about the silver cord and leaving your body. This is what I'm trying to get out of you. The whole tie-in that you were talking about.
That when you go to sleep, you go
You
somewhere
go
that
somewhere.
it
Yeah.
actually exists. It's not like the holodeck or the training program.
So that possibly he was visiting other alien locales, going on spaceships, and maybe he was actually doing all those things.
Yeah. And it was a true story that he partook in because it
And then he wrote up.
most likely true. It's most likely an actual existence. And he had tapped into it and told that story. So yeah, there quite possibly is a Chewbacca that's on the spaceship because he's the mechanic. Because that existence probably exists.
So was he astral projecting? Because everyone does.
Well, that's
Most
just
people
another
just
way
don't.
to express leaving your body.
Yeah. If your spirit leaves your body because it doesn't need rest, that makes perfect sense. These are Dolores's words, by the way. Because it would just get bored. Why would it sit there all night and do nothing?
Yeah, the body gets tired, not you, the consciousness, not you, the energy, the love and the light.
And while the body rests. Because I've heard about the silver cord. I remember hearing about that a long time ago. That when you leave your body, that you can basically look back and you always know where your body is because you're attached no matter how far away you are to this.
You're tethered.
It's like a leash, yeah. And that when it's time to go back, no matter how far away from your body you are, it's tug in an instant, you're there. And I've always wondered, you ever have that where you're about to fall asleep and then suddenly you feel like you're falling and you're wide awake?
My leg will twitch. You get the leg twitch.
I feel like I was maybe right above my body at that moment and then suddenly got scared and fell back into it.
I've never had that.
You've never had that feeling before?
No, it's leg twitch is what I get.
I've had that before too, but I'm talking about where suddenly it feels like you're falling.
I get what you're saying, but yeah, no, I've never.
And then usually you can go right back to sleep after that, but like you'll feel it. It'll shock you awake. And it literally feels like you fell. I've always wondered. Maybe.
I mean, I don't doubt that. I could believe that. Again, I've never experienced that I'm aware of, but I don't see why not.
I mean, it would make sense somehow that that's scrubbed from your memory when you come back. Like maybe it's not allowed access in your forebrain or whatever.
Prefrontal
Your
cortex.
prefrontal, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Or again, because I mean that goes back to like what we were talking about with the DMT. Is it turning off a filter in a sense? So maybe your body is excluding certain information because it's just this is all you can comprehend with your human brain. You as a alternate dimensional being that's in your meat suit may be able to handle that shit, but the human suit can only handle so much. Again, because maybe it puts it into fight or flight mode so severe that it becomes more than just a visceral reaction. It becomes like sensory overload and it just geeks the meat suit.
It breaks your brain.
Yeah, I don't, whatever.
Maybe that's what the truth does. Maybe that's why hermits always seem like crazy people.
Or they're just crazy.
Maybe they just know a lot more than we do. They can see a lot more, but it makes them look crazy to everyone else.
Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, if you can see things in other dimensions, I mean, wouldn't that seem pretty crazy?
I mean, again, I think that's what DMT might be, is it just allows you to cross over to that other dimension.
Right, but it's not an awaking state. Like you're not really there in your body at that moment. Like you have very little control over it, I think, when that's going on. You're in a daze.
I think I've heard some stories where people were still physically moving. But yeah, while you're, I would think more likely your body has like twitches in a sense, kind of like you're in a dream state.
That's what I would think. Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Still able to speak. Like there's
like a dream. Yeah.
But
Still
coherent speaking. Like, well, but that's the thing is depending on I guess, the depth of the DMT trip. I've had very coherent conversations with people that were either dead asleep or they just had a slight moment of psychosis. I really just keep coming back to how it has to be just for the purpose of expressing it, multi-layered. You could also swap in multi-dimensional, but just like I said, just stacked on top of each other like a piece of paper. That's all one piece of paper. It's all one ream, but each piece of paper is different. And it's just layer on layer on layer on layer. But that could be the dimensions or the timelines, or parallels, or however you want to express it, so that you can comprehend or perceive the notion that all things everywhere all at once is not, and will be. Past, present, and future, there is no time. We're just in the ability to perceive things as time, because that's us in 3 and 4D, space and time. That's why that's our perception. That's why it's our understanding.
So I don't know what you're saying. What are you saying? Like that you can slide in and out of different parallel multiverse as
All of
you
it.
make choices and understand concepts and whatever it is that changes your frequency to be on that.
Pretty much.
That's what existence is. But I don't know. I guess it's possible. But it wouldn't change how I'd interact with it. That's why I don't know if...
Well, but do you truly
Like
know
knowing-
that?
knowing
do
that
you
there's a
truly know
me-
that you wouldn't be able to interact with it or wouldn't interact with it because you don't know if that actually is the existence or not?
If I'm living in the now and I'm trying to manage living in the now with when I'm experiencing my 5 senses in this human body
In the now.
Does it help me to understand that there's a million other me's out there that made totally different decisions in life? That one of me is like a multimillionaire, a mogul. One's a hermit living in Peru.
And there's also one of you that lives in an existence where money is not an actual thing. Currency doesn't exist.
Well, if I was living in a village in Peru, probably really wouldn't exist much at all.
But still, there's a you that lives every existence. And they have already happened. They will happen and are happening right now.
Well, and maybe that is what it is. Like you said, that is what it is to dream. It's not like we've actually gone anywhere, but maybe stepped into a different multiverse where we were ayahuasca farmers. We left, our life went a different way, went sideways. And instead of going crazy and going internal, we decided to move to Peru and harvest ayahuasca and live off the land.
Anything's possible, man.
Who knows? Maybe one of me is a great inventor.
I mean, that's why I liked Everything Everywhere All at Once when they had like the hot dog fingers. Same exact shit, just hot dog fingers.
Anything. That's what they were really trying to show you. Could be anything.
Yeah.
So what if those dreams we're having, they're not even past lives. They're literally us. And time is a concept that we've created for ourselves. They're us. They're us living in what we call back then, but it's only relative to living on this side. There's no existence of time on that side.
Yeah. Well, that's why I used in Back to the Future 2 when they're talking about timelines where it's like, all right, this is your existence. It's just a straight line because like this is supposed to be from this life this life that you're living is this one set as this with these choices, which puts you on this path. Now, it doesn't mean that the straight line isn't like this or with like bends or anything. It's just like, but that's your straight line. You make a different choice here and you've now moved to a different timeline. While they're saying you've created that timeline, to me, that timeline's already existed. You're just swapping over. because the likelihood is the individual you on that timeline made a choice that pushed them back down to this one instead. So we can sit here and jump these different timelines that are all just us's that are just stacked on top of each other with us making all of these different choices that gets us to a completely different outcome of what our life is. So you as the monk, you as the millionaire, you as a paperboy, you as a shaman, you as a circus ringleader. I mean, it doesn't matter. A hobo on the street. You know, you as an actual Peruvian or, raised in Africa or a dolphin or
Any one of those dreams, but the flying dream specifically, which I haven't had in a long time, but I have had. That's one of the signs they say if you have that and it feels very vivid, that it's quite possible that you have projected in the past. You just don't remember it, other than that one time. I mean, I remember having that several times, and most of them were, it felt like I was flying without a body. I was experiencing it as if I had a body, but I didn't have a physical body. It was weird.
is, I've had plenty of lucid dreams where in the midst of my dream I'm like, oh wait, that's right, I have powers here, and I could do stuff like control lightning or fly,
That was the other time I was
run
thinking
super
of,
fast, like crazy stuff.
which I would consider that more like along the lines of lucid dreaming, which can be a gateway to astral projection.
But see, and again, to me, all of that is just signifiers. They're just words for us to understand or perceive a concept. I mean, all it is really just being in a different dimension or realm or timeline. Like there's just all these different words. It's
Well,
still
that's not about
perception,
words,
but it's
about
what you're perceiving.
tuning your mind to perceive that, which is basically what you're doing. If Dolores Cannon is right about any of that, then that's everybody does it, but you don't necessarily remember it. So maybe that training is just to get you, because a lot of the training having to do with astral projection has to do with keeping a journal. So that when you experience something, the minute you come to, you write it down in the journal in the dark and you always leave it by your bedside. So it's more like a memory game in order to recall it.
I remember.
Which I could imagine that because
I recall so many of my dreams because I've just recently been having more of them and vivid enough that I've been recalling them and instead of writing them down, actually going through and putting them in and doing a dream interpretation and going through the context of what that scenario paints.
Are we sharing or?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that.
No, I mean, you don't want to?
No, they're my dreams and they're for me.
Okay. No, if you
No, they're
were
all
leading
good.
up to something, that'd be
No, not sharing that. I don't need to.
All right.
No, they all help me to understand even my subconscious is at peace with my conscious as I go back and forth.
You're saying you're getting confirmation through your dreams, or?
Yeah, that more or less affirmations from my body to my consciousness and back and forth that we're okay, buddy. Let's keep this ship a rolling.
That's good.
So,
which is different than kind of what I'm saying. Like a lot of the times that I recall having that dream, it's more like suddenly I have the realization that I'm flying. There's no lead up. It's just, wow, I'm flying. And it's just there's no weight at all. It's completely weightlessness.
I want to say when I have the flying dreams or when I recall is like I was saying, is like, oh crap, it's like I got powers here kind of a thing. And it's just like, wee, and I can just take off like I'm Superman kind of shit. And just flying through the air and just doing whatever you want.
I did have one of those dreams as a kid where I was being chased by, I don't know, a bunch of stuff that was chasing me. I have no idea. Stuff of all sizes. Like basically all my fears were behind me chasing me.
Okay.
And I was on foot. And then I made that realization that you were talking about. And then suddenly I was pushing ghost pedals and I was riding a bicycle. and then kept thinking, all right, these are foot pegs. And suddenly my feet are on foot pegs and I go like this and I take off and they're still catching up. And the next thing I know, I go, I don't need a bike at all. And I push off the handlebars and I just start flying.
Okay.
And I still remember looking down and I could see the neighborhood and the trees outlining the street, and I could see them chasing after me still, and they started getting smaller and smaller. It's a cool dream.
Okay.
But was I flying? I don't know. Were those actually bad things behind me?
I mean, if that's what you perceive them as,
I don't know.
that's what it felt like to you. We're
It was-
talking more Dolores Cannon and dreams and where you go when you dream and that kind of stuff. And
So were we going places in our dreams?
when you're dreaming, again, you may not be going per se. You might just be on a different layer.
Are you in multiple places at the same time too? Because I've had that a lot in dreams. Like dreams can make sense in the weirdest way, right? I was at school, but I was also at work. Or my favorite restaurant was right below my house, but it seemed completely normal. The way a dream puts things together, it doesn't have to make sense while you're dreaming it. It doesn't always have to make perfect sense. But is the truth that you're actually kind of, because there is no distance, that your mind can literally pass from one to the other that quickly?
What if that's more so your consciousness actually ingesting all of those possibilities simultaneously and it's just making sense of it all?
The dream is how it makes sense of it.
Well, because you're not at, like you just said, I'm at school, but I'm also at work, but there's a Chinese restaurant that's down below.
Like, why does this all make sense somehow? And
Because perhaps all of those are just different existences in that location. Time, space, timeline, dimension, parallel universe, all of it. You're literally in between all of those different layers.
that the multi-me actually has an existence that crosses that area all the time. And when I'm in that area, like through all timelines, I exist in different places like that. It's an echo.
It's just a simultaneous being.
So because of that place, though.
Well, not because of, that's just your 3 and 4 dimension construct that habituates your consciousness to that perception, then being allowed to perceive all layers at the same time. It only gives you sections of stuff, and but that's the thing, is because all of those existences are simultaneously in that location, all of those things do exist there right then and there. And you're just perceiving that place that is not time. I was gonna say, man, the movie Interstellar, you really need to watch that one scene. It would make so much more sense to you. You would understand what my brain is trying to express right now. I'm gonna make you watch that scene sometime.
All right.
So it gives you much better context. I mean, honestly, I should just make you watch the movie
With the layers.
and the echo. We need a bro date. We got to watch Interstellar, bro. I'm telling you. I got you.
All right. I'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
I don't mind watching it. I don't mind at all. So, if any of this resonated with you guys, please hit us in the comments.
Hit us in the comments. I'm not going to cup anything because he'll probably put Jackass in there again or something.
Not if you're nice.
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
I did say it was going to happen.
Hit us in the comments, as well as bloopers, rolling credits. Names should be in it. If they're not,
Hit us up. We'll put it in there.
hit us in the comments.
Hit us in the comments.
Can't hit us up. I mean, not
hit me. Yeah.
why it's time to go now,
So,
Mac.
as usual,
Hit us in the comments. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for stopping by. Be good to yourself. Be good to everything else.
much love.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Sounds like the owl.
Who? Who would say? Who? Here's the pickles. I have the pickles. You got to get those with the jelly sandwich.
Yeah, you did, you motorboating son of a bitch. I know.
Oh. Why do you always shake your head at me? Like you expect anything different? I don't know. The recurring bad dream that I used to have. Some kind of like a carny trailer and a fortune teller lady, like an old gypsy woman. Creepy. I don't know why. Why a gypsy woman?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
No idea.
I don't know why you.
I'm sharing bits of my childhood. Do you mind?
Okay.
Is that okay? Thought this was a safe space.
This is Tree of Trust.
Isn't this the Tree of Trust? Is this all going to be outtakes now?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right.
Apparently, this just became the share circle, and
Well, we were talking about flying, and then I kind of got off.
no, you
on
were
this.
talking about flying.
Yeah, I was talking about flying. I mean, I'm sorry. I just want a portal gun. I think that'd be awesome. Pew, pew.
Just shooting holes in all of the universes.
And shoot a hole in the ceiling and then a hole in the floor, and they're attached, and you just like jump in. Ah!
I like turtles.
Yeah,
But-
I was kind of disappointed about that.
Not truly.
And the hoverboard.
I mean, we kind of have a hoverboard.
Mm,
No, they got one that like works.
ish.
No, it like works.
It like works.
Well, it
I don't
works.
like the way you're saying that.
But you can't really use it.
See, now there's your problem. It's got a cord or something like that.
I mean, you kind of have to strap it down because this thing's got some. But
Turn left. Hold up the placard. Turn right. Hold up the placard.
you're a bloopers.
There's that. I am a blooper. I'm okay with that.
Somebody has to do it sometimes.
It puts the lotion in the basket. Oh, what do you mean?
Sorry, I had to do it. I had to do it.
I love when
had
you do
to.
that voice. What was your tie-in? I'm trying to remember again.
George Lucas.
You ready to? Is it time? Wrap it up, B. Okay. All right. I even had you cupping this guy's cousin.
It was for a brief second. I was just, dude, no.
It's good.
Should probably start to wrap this ship up. And 1, 2, 3.
I'm telling you, man. Ba-da-ba-ba.